Today we will be talking about ratios. So in our ratio introduction, a ratio is a multiplicative comparison of two quantities which describe the same attribute. So this can be written in several different ways. So for example, we have there are 2 dogs to every 3 cats. So 2 dogs to every 3 cats can be written in 3 different ways. So the first way we can write it is by using words. We would just say 2 dogs to 3 cats. We can use a colon and say that there are 2 dogs to 3 cats, or we can use a fraction that says that there are 2 dogs for every 3 cats. Ratios can also be written in the simplest terms, or they can be simplified. So now we are going to use the faces below to practice writing ratios. So our first box here says that we want to know what our ratio is for teeth to no teeth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count my faces that have teeth on them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9 of my faces have teeth, and the number of faces that don't have teeth are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So to write this as a ratio, I would write that there are 9 to 15, and I can use either my words, so I can say 9 to 15, or can say that there are 9 to 15, or I can say 9 to 15. So now I want to find the ratio for eyebrows to total faces. So I'm going to first count my total faces. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So there are 24 total faces, and I want to know which ones have eyebrows. So I'm going to go and count my eyebrows, my faces that have eyebrows, and the number of faces that have eyebrows. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 faces that have eyebrows. So my ratio for eyebrows to total faces would be 10 to 24, and I would need to simplify that fraction, that ratio. And I know that if there are 10 eyebrows to 24 total faces, 10 and 24 are both even numbers, so I can simplify this fraction by dividing by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So there are 5 eyebrows to total faces. For my next one, I want to find the ones that have tongues to total faces, and we know that there are 24 total faces because we counted them earlier, so now we're going to count the ones who have tongues. So our number of tongues are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tongues to 24 total faces, and when I write this as a ratio, I will write it with my colon, 4 to 24, and when I simplify and divide both of those numbers by 2, I have every 1 to 6 faces. So now I'm going to do angry faces to eyebrows. We already know that my eyebrows, there was 10 of them who had eyebrows from the second problem over here. So now I'm going to count my angry faces. So my angry faces, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 angry faces here. So my ratio for angry faces to eyebrows are going to be 8 to 10. So 8 to 10 of these are angry faces to eyebrows. And when I simplify that, I know that 8 and 10 are both positive numbers, so I can divide both of those by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 4 to 5 of these faces are angry faces to eyebrows. So now I want to find my big eyes to teeth. So we know that from our first problem, there are 9 faces that have teeth. 9 faces have teeth, and now we're going to count the ones with big eyes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 12 of my faces have big eyes, and 9 of my faces have teeth. So my ratio will be 12 to 9. And when I simplify that, I'm going to divide both of those numbers by 3, and I will get that there are 4 to 3. So now I want to find the closed eyes to tongues. So in our third problem, we had that there was 4 tongues. So we know that there are 4 tongues, and I can count my eyes now. My closed eyes. So I have 1 and 2 closed eyes. So we have 2 to 4 as our ratio. And when I simplify that, I can divide both of those numbers by 2. So our ratio will be that there are 1 to 2. And now we are going to find big eyes to angry faces. So I have 12 faces with big eyes and 8 faces with angry faces. So our ratio would be 12 to 8. And when I simplify that, 12 and 8 are both divisible by 4, so I can also make it 3 to 2. And now I want to find the ratio of tiny eyes to no smiles. So I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10 faces with tiny eyes. And I'm going to count my no smiles. So my no smiles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and 20. So my ratio for tiny eyes to no smiles would be 10 to 20, which can be simplified down to 1 to 2. So now I need to write the ratios below. Then determine if the ratios are different, and we're going to justify our thinking. So our ratio for teeth to no teeth, so this one was 9 to 15 over here in this first box. So I know that there are 9 faces with teeth, and there are 15 faces without teeth. So my ratio will be 9 to 15. And now I want to write a ratio for no teeth to teeth. So 15 of them have no teeth, and 9 of them have teeth. So my ratio for that will be 15 to 9. So now when we look at these, are they the same or are they different? They are different. And they're different because the order is not the same. So the order in which a ratio table is written, it's important to the meaning. It's important to the meaning because if you notice, We had 9 to 15 for teeth to no teeth. And when we ask for no teeth to teeth, it changes the meaning completely. So for this one, it says, in the lunchroom, there were 100 milk cartons at lunch. When lunch was over, 80 cartons of milk had been purchased. All right, so in our problem, it says, what is the ratio of the number of milk cartons purchased to the total number of milk cartons? So we want to know the ratio for milk cartons purchased to the total number of milk. So we know from our problem that 80 cartons of milk were purchased and 100 cartons were at lunch total. So our ratio is 80 to 100. And if I will simplify that, I can divide both of those numbers by 20. And 80 divided by 20 will be 4, and 100 divided by 20 will be 5. So our ratio is 4 to 5. So in this problem, it says, what is the ratio of the number of milk cartons remaining to the number of milk cartons purchased? So if there were 80 milk cartons purchased, our problem says 80 of them were purchased. There was 100 of them total, so we know that 100 minus the 80 that were purchased will give us 20 remaining milk cartons. So we want to know the ratio of remaining milk cartons to the milk cartons purchased. So we have 20 to 80, or we can simplify that and divide it by 20 each. 20 divided by 20 will be 1, and 80 divided by 20 will be 4. So the ratio for the number of milk cartons remaining to the number of milk cartons purchased is 20 to 80, or 1 to 4. All right, boys and girls, go ahead and glue these into your journal and then complete your summary in Schoology.